The Russ Parr Morning Show. Russ Parr Morning Show.
Oh, come on. Okay.
The Russ Parr Morning Show.
Russ Parr Morning Show on the line right now. Miss H, how you doing, Miss H?
Well, not too good, Russ Parr, because what you just said is absolutely correct. The United States Congress, led by Congressman John Conyers of Detroit, they're proposing a tax to be placed on radio stations that would charge us to play music. Now, in 2007, the recording industry reported that the airplay of radio stations accounted for $10.4 billion, B as in boy, $1 billion worth of record sales. And now they want us to pay to play music. It is unbelievable. It's headed by Congressman John Conyers on the House of Representatives side, and check this out, Orrin Hatch on the Senate side. Now, you know, Orrin Hatch is George Bush's mouth. Why John Conyers would be in bed with Orrin Hatch is
have you guys had a meeting with Congressman Conyers?
Face left there with the impression he's had one hearing. At that one hearing, there was no minority ownership representation. Several black owners told him that they would have to shut down. They would go out of business immediately if this tax were passed. We told him we'd have to eliminate our black talk stations and our gospel stations because we subsidize them, as you well know. We take the money that we make on our music stations and we provide community services called gospel, FM gospel and AM, and black talk. Reverend Al Sharpton, Bernie McCain, Joe Madison. Right. Long story short, his bill would require us to take that money that we're using to foster those formats and help them grow into viable commercial formats and send it to foreign-owned record companies because there's only one American-owned record company.
Now, did they do their research on this? Because basically, we have been providing free advertising for these record companies, and to me, if you want us to pay a tax on it, you usually pay a tax on profits. So if you want to get in bed with us, if you made $10 billion last year, well, then where's our piece of the pie?
Right. Absolutely.
Cut us in on that.
Wait, but this is the fallacy. He says it's predicated. The reason he's doing this is because the artists of yesteryear didn't get paid. They got ripped off by the record industry.
Not our fault.
I said to him, well, if the Funk Brothers didn't get paid, Berry Gordy owes them, not Cathy Hughes.
That's right. There you go.
Tell that.
All right, but wait. His legislation gives at least 50% of the tax to the record company for them to then distribute the rest.
Trickle-down theory. Trickle-down theory. Oh, we're going to give this artist. And look, here's what's going to do. That is going to hurt the record companies because if they have a marginal artist with a marginal song, we're not going to pay to play it. So therefore, they're going to lose a ton of money. It's a bad idea.
To Yolanda Adams. If I have to pay to play a Yolanda Adams song, I'm not going to play anything you just released. I don't know if your gospel listeners like that, okay?
Right.
I'm going to play all your old stuff. It's going to affect 50 Cent, Jay-Z, all of them. Because even just because you Jay-Z doesn't mean that everything you release is a hit and that everybody wants to hear it.
That's right. So what can we do?
Yeah, what can we do to curtail this?
You have got to bombard the offices of John Conyers. His email is john.conyers@mail.house.gov, G-O-V, short for government. That's john.conyers@mail.house.gov. His phone number, 202-225-5126. Also, if you know anybody in Detroit, call them at 12 noon today. There is a massive demonstration in front of his office at the Federal Building in Detroit, Michigan, and we need as many people to come out as possible to say, what are you doing, brother? Yeah. But a lot of people, Russ, quite frankly, think that this is a camouflage attempt to directly affect black radio because black radio was such a unifying force and played such a big role in the election of President Barack Obama. Everybody ain't as happy as we are in the black community. Everybody ain't celebrating the fact that there's a black president.
Well, you know what bothers me, because I've met Congressman Conyers on a number of occasions and have admired this man. I'm wondering, what is his agenda? What does he hope to prove from this? Who got to him and didn't give him the necessary information to understand that this could be detrimental not only to black radio, but also to the record industry? These big companies...
And to him, he's 80 years old. How does he think he keeps returning to Congress term after term?
Okay. All right. That email address, once again, is...
john.conyers@mail.house.gov. The phone number is 202-225-5126. The bill is called the John Conyers Performing Tax Bill, but it's H.R. 848. All you got to say is say, I oppose 848. You can shorten it down to 848. That's all you have to call it. I know that the Russ Parr crew likes digits.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
So the three most important digits in our life right now are 848. We have got to kill 848.
Great. Ms. H., I appreciate you taking the time to shed some lights on this, because this is actually very important to how we view radio as it is. I mean, I think a lot of people, they don't realize the true ramifications of what could happen. This could be very devastating to the business.
Oh, no, it will change the business. And then I will have to be your character reference for your new job, because you won't be able to afford you and your contract.
There you go. It's not that big.
But Russ, we also need to be honest with our audience. This is the darkest day that black radio has ever seen. Everybody at Radio One, including Russ Parr and myself, we have voluntarily done salary reductions.
Yes.
We have laid off over 400 people. We have furloughed people. We've asked them not to accrue their vacation, and now, starting next Friday, every other Friday, we are closing our corporate offices. If this isn't the worst time in the world to impose a tax on us and then send the money to foreign record companies to give it back to black folks, why don't you just let us stay in business so we can keep some black folks working, doing some black music and some black formats and some black information, and just allow us to participate in the capitalistic system and not tie our hands behind us or put us out of business.
I got you. All right, Ms. H., I really appreciate it. Well stated, and we'll get on it. We'll get everybody in motivated, okay?
I'm tweeting about it right now.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye now. That's interesting, because, I've been on the other side with a record company, and, when I first started, I had a little company in the whole nine. And you know what? You guys look at all these big stars that you see that have albums out and so on and so forth.
Getting paid.
You know how they get paid? They got to go on the road.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got to go on the road, because what you don't understand is that a record company, and I'm not faulting record companies, it's just how the business has always been done. Is like, if you're an artist, and you need to talk to some of the old heads that have been in the business for a while. What the record company will do is they say, oh yeah, man, we're going to sign you, man, and we're going to put advertising out there about you and so on and so forth. Well, the first monies that come back from your album sales goes to the record company, because they recoup that money.
Right.
So now they're going like, a lot of these artists, well, we're not getting paid and blah, blah, blah. That is not radio's fault. That is the deal that you signed with that record company. Because some of those guys that sell 1 million copies never see a penny.
Yeah. No. And it's funny, because I read Russell Simmons' book, and one thing he talked about, he had a 50% deal with a company, and he thought that, I get half the money. But what they were doing was clearing all the expenses off the top, taking all that money, and then splitting the rest.
Wow. You get 50% of $2.
He said, before you know it, I was in debt.
Right. And you still owe them.
And still owe.
That's
the same with the movie business, too, because I learned that off my first film.
Yeah.
It's like and if you can't control what they're spending, then they really get you.
Yeah.
Right. So now they want to make radio pay for it. And it's not our fault that you didn't see Napstar coming. It's not our fault that you didn't see iTunes coming. And what they did is, they're not going to last. What they did is they crushed you.
Yeah.
They crushed you.
iTunes killed.
And so now you're hurting, and you want radio to pay for it?
Right. And we're giving you free advertising your stuff.
Right. You calling up here.
Come on now.
I mean, just playing the song, it's free advertisement.
So now what's going to happen is, we're not going to want to pay for some of those marginal songs that normally would get paid.
Yep.
And now you're screwed.